Greetings, back again here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to modify the controller ports on a European NES so that you can use American controllers with it. And I talked about this a bit in my previous video where I showed a few different variations of the NES that have been released throughout Europe, and I mentioned that the controllers for the European NES systems is a bit different than the American and also the Scandinavian models. So by doing this very simple modification, you can make those controllers work on the European models. And doing this mod will not stop the European controllers from working, so you will be able to use both different models of controllers. And I mentioned also in the previous video that the European controllers have model number NES004E, while the others have model number NES004. So that's how you can tell the difference between the controllers. But yeah, I have the French NES here, and I just checked, and this uses the European controllers. So this is the one that I'm going to show the mod on here. Alright, so we only need a few basic tools here. We need a Phillips head screwdriver, a soldering iron, and a bit of solder. So the first thing we need to do here is to open the system up. So we'll remove the top part, and then we need to get the controller ports out of the system. So underneath this piece of black plastic here on the bottom part there are two screws, so remove those and you can lift this up and remove that, and now we can just pull the ports out here like so, and this one is connected to the board over here, so we just unplug that. It can get a bit tangled up here, but you can get it out like this. And if you want to modify the second controller port as well, you just do the same thing here. This one is connected to the board over here, so you might want to remove the rest of the screws and lift the board up a bit to be able to disconnect that. But we'll just take a look at controller port 1 here. So here we have the controller port, and as you can see here on the end of it we have this small board. And compare this to the controller port from an American NES, or in this case a Scandinavian NES. You can see that this one doesn't have that board. Instead the wires go directly to the pins on the controller port. So to make this one work with American controllers, what we need to do here is bridge some of the points here. And if we look on the other side of the board, you can see all these diodes here. And what we need to do is bridge the legs of each diode. So if you start with this one here, we need to bridge these 2 points, and then with the next one we need to bridge these 2 points, and so on until we have bridged all of the legs on the diodes. So I'm gonna do that here, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. Alright, so here is the modified controller port, and as you can see, all I've done here is I've made 6 separate solder bridges, one for each diode. Usually when you're soldering this is what you're trying to avoid, but here we want the points to be bridged. And this is all you have to do. So I can just put this back into the console, and the American controllers should work with this. And if you want to do the second controller port, just do the same thing. It looks just like this one, only with a slightly longer set of wires. So that's how to modify the controller port on a European NES, and that's all I had to show you this time. So bye for now, and I'll see you soon.